Alright, it is Tuesday, May 10th. I'm going to do a round 2 of KonMari in this new house. I get annoyed and angry whenever I see my room, and I feel like this is a step to claim back my power. When I'm tidying, it's not going to be about how much stuff I get rid of. It's about how good it will look when I get done and how I feel. So I am going to start with clothes, books, and documents, and that'll be a warm-up. I think mainly like the kimono is going to be my biggest obstacle. Yep. Okay, so first up are clothes. This was my warm-up category, the easiest one for me. You'll notice that I'm trying on clothes. The reason is that I bought clothes that were too tight and well-fitting. You know, they showed off the muscles and stuff, but I realized I never wore them because they were too tight and uncomfortable. So I chose to discard them. I learned that not only do the clothes need to look nice, but I also need my clothes to be comfortable, so I learned something that day. Another thing you'll notice in this video is that I'm not taking everything out. I'm taking a shortcut where I'm going through the drawers and putting discarded items directly into a paper bag. It's just a much more efficient and streamlined workflow. This worked for me in this category because I already had so few items. I already did the KonMari method once, and I had a very limited, curated selection of clothing. Afterwards, that night I went directly to Goodwill to drop things off. And you know, that's when you're really done with that section and moving on. Okay, so here I am doing the category of books. It took me twice as long as clothes, about 2 hours, and it was physically exhausting because, you know, books are heavy. And here I am doing the shortcut again, not taking everything out, okay? I'm not really discarding books because most of these books already do spark joy. I've already done KonMari once on the books before, and now I'm just making it look good. I do want to mention that this is the Japanese art of decluttering, the art of organizing and tidying up, okay? This isn't a science. And I think it's important that we follow the principles of the KonMari method, but more importantly, I think we should express ourselves. We should have fun. You should have your own interpretations of the art form. Alright, so here are my results. I sorted by size, color, type, and my focus this time was mostly on aesthetics and beauty. I wanted this to feel good. Okay, so lastly, I want to talk about a dirty secret of tidying, and that's collateral damage. It's when one area is clean but the other areas become messy. Okay, I think we should expect it. Allow extra time in your session to account for it. Spend some time to put things away, even if it's temporarily, just do it neatly. And lastly, as soon as you can, I recommend donating, discarding your books right away. I took my books to the library ASAP. Just finish the task, it'll feel good. In my previous clip, you might notice that there are a lot of ugly cords in the front of my desk. Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna show you how I took care of that. And basically, I'm laying some plastic on the ground and getting ready to drill a big 1-inch hole in my desk. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And later you will see me getting out a vacuum and just start vacuuming because there's a lot of dust going around. And afterwards, you're gonna see me just organizing the cords and making things look pretty. You know, I'm getting ready to clean up now. You know, what I do want to mention is that the KonMari method isn't just about decluttering and organizing. If that's all that it's about to you, I kind of feel like you've missed the spirit of the KonMari method. I really feel like it's about empowering you to create a life that sparks joy. You know, I want to ask you, how can you create change? How can you blow past obstacles in your life that make you unhappy? And how can you solve problems? Okay, so finally we are at the documents portion of the KonMari method. It's actually been a week since I last did KonMari. I kind of took a break because I was so busy with work, and now I'm finally back at it. Basically, I don't have a lot of documents. I only have those basically two drawers worth of documents. And basically, I just want to get this over with so I can get to the miscellaneous section. I think it's important to note that, you know, the KonMari method isn't just about like getting rid of shit. you know, and throwing stuff away and having very little stuff, okay? You know, it's about creating life that sparks joy. And I think I have enough documents, you know, it's good to keep some records. And if you were to look at my before and after photos, there's really not much of a difference. It's only like 10% less, but that's enough for me. What I really do want to emphasize is that the next morning I went directly and shredded a lot of my documents and threw them in the recycle bin. Do it immediately. A lot of people like to wait maybe a day or two or even a week. I think that it's a big discipline and a huge part to do it right away. It's kind of like when you're getting home and then you take things out of your backpack or purse and put things away right away. It's part of the discipline of being tidy to do things away and finish things up and follow through. Here, I just bought a new lamp from IKEA, and I'm unboxing it to replace my old lamp. What was wrong with my old lamp? There was a giant wire protruding out, and part of a clamp obstructed my computer screen. Simply put, I just wanted to buy a nicer desk lamp more suitable for my office space. KonMari method might appear as an exercise in decluttering and minimalism, but I interpret it as an exercise in experiencing joy. Most people just focus on taking things out, but adding things back in your life is also important. I apply this method for feeling joy when I make purchases. I touch the item to make sure it sparks joy before I buy it. I'm much more careful because I know if something does not satisfy me 100%, I will probably at some point discard it. Lastly, after you unbox the item, make sure you put away all garbage immediately, follow through with your actions, and return the space to the original tidy condition. Okay, finally we are at the miscellaneous category. So in the first three categories, you kind of see me do my own version of the KonMari method, the shortcut. It's where I took everything out, sorted, and discarded all in one step. Today you will finally see me fail. So this day started out okay when I first did my 2 desk drawers. I was fine doing the shortcut. But when I started working towards my art supplies, camera equipment, etc., things just started getting way too out of hand. There were 6 drawers, there was just way too much stuff. I got way too overwhelmed. Eventually, I gave up, I cleaned everything up and just called it a night, and I would just work on it the next morning. Okay, so I just got my ass kicked the previous night, so I'm going back to the textbook KonMari method, alright? So it's going to be take everything out, does it spark joy, discard, and arrange. So first things first, take everything out, put it on the floor. It's the easiest part. Be careful to not bite off more than you can chew. I only like to take out enough work for 1 to 2 hours. Sort. Does it spark joy? Alright, this part's pretty easy as well. You just sort it into 2 piles. And for me it was, will I keep this in my room or not? Pretty easy. So number 3 is discard, alright? So usually you just throw it away or donate it. Actually, I also have gray area items where I end up putting it away or organizing it. For example, batteries. Like, well, I just put it back with the other batteries so where they belong. In this case, I also had a photo album, and I decided to just organize the photos into an album instead of an envelope. When I am discarding stuff, I even label where I'm gonna bring it. For example, the library, Goodwill, or bring it to my friend. You know, I label where it goes. Also, I decided I would sell one of my artworks instead of just donating it. Yeah, we'll see. Now I'm going to arrange my items, and this part actually was pretty time consuming. It was really difficult because this is a new environment, it's a new house, so like the size of the drawers and everything, I wasn't quite used to the space. Maybe this part is easy for you, but for me this took a really long time compared to the other steps. This is my art supply drawer. You can see that it looks beautiful. Everything's easy to access. My boxes are stacked vertically like the KonMari clothes. Next, I have these paints, and you can see it's really easy to see if my lenses. I know which one is which. I can easily get it. Okay, so this is my 3rd pass at the miscellaneous category of the KonMari method. I do want to mention one thing I really like about this method is that it's really single task oriented. You focus on one step at a time. It's not multitasking. And as I'm sorting this item, I'm already thinking about how and where I'm going to discard them. Like if there's some who I want to donate it to, like an art friend, or Goodwill, or the library. I'm already having that in the back of my mind. Or if something just belongs in a different part of the house. It's really important that I gather everything in the same place where it belongs. So here are all like the binders and folders. I decided to put it outside in a more communal area, so if my parents wanted to access some binders, they'd have it. So again, this is pretty straightforward where I am these are all the items that I discarded from my room. I guess I basically just moved it to a different part of the house. But yeah, you can see it looks pretty nice. And here's the items I'm gonna donate to my friends and Goodwill, some toys and stuff. So this is later that night after I took a break. So as you can see, I basically only tidy like 1 to 2 hours at a time. One of the reasons is that I like taking breaks, and that's just kind of my style. I don't like doing 8-hour marathons. I find that really exhausting. I like to be able to go to sleep and wake up to a clean room, and that's just my personal style. Alright, so now I'm doing toiletries. Again, the first part is to take everything out. It's relatively simple. Next is sorting. Was also relatively easy. You can see that I'm splitting it into 2 different piles. Does it spark joy? It goes to one side. Does it not spark joy? It goes to the other side. So next is the discard part. And this was a little bit different because just because something doesn't spark joy doesn't mean that I'm gonna throw it out, you know? And this was mostly about like arranging and stuff and storing it neatly. As you can see, like I'm using boxes and stuff, and I'm relatively happy with the results. It looks neat and organized. I like it. The next part is arranging the items that do spark joy. So these are basically just the commonly used items. One thing to note is Marie Kondo says to keep your sink top completely clean, nothing on it, just store everything away. I personally keep some items there and I hide everything else in a couple drawers. And here I also use boxes to kind of separate the items so it's more organized. And here's my hair dryer in the drawer. Lastly, at the end, remember to take out the trash. This signifies the end and it's like cleansing the energy. Okay, so here I am doing my discarding portion. I'm taking some of my toys and Gundams to Goodwill, and I'm taking some art supplies to my other art friend and my old art teacher. I wanted to point out that a lot of people underestimate how long it takes to discard your items. Just taking everything out or like putting it on the floor takes only about 5%, and sorting the items, you know, if it sparks joy, that only takes like another 10% of your time. But discarding your items, especially if you are eBaying or selling it or giving it to friends, it takes a much longer time. And lastly, arranging your items can take a pretty long time as well. That's a skill that you just need to become good at. Of course, this time distribution will be different from person to person. Occasionally, I sell items on eBay. This is a Final Fantasy VII game for PlayStation, my first video game, a sentimental item. I wanted to sell the item with dignity and at a good price, so I spent a lot of time to shoot high quality photos. This process took 2 hours. One buyer even messaged me to compliment me on my presentation. I was very proud. Even though it might seem like a lot of effort, it was a way for me to have one last experience with this item before giving it to another owner. This is my PlayStation 1, one of my first video game consoles my parents bought for me when I was a child. Again, I wanted to take really nice photos, sell it at a good price. This experience was kind of like giving up a child for adoption. I was sad to give it away, but I knew I would never play with the item again, so it brought me great joy to give this item away to another owner who would want it more. Hey guys, so I just found out my 2 items on eBay actually sold. I sold my PlayStation from 1998 for $50. I'm like totally stoked. And my PlayStation game, Final Fantasy VII, it sold as well for $15, which I mean for a $50 game, I think it's pretty good. I just feel really like blessed and thankful, and even though I'm sad to let them go, I'm just really happy that they're gonna have a new home and there's someone out there who will take them in and care for them, you know. I'm really happy right now. Hey guys, how's it going? Right now I'm at an art gallery where I have my artwork in the background. Okay, the reason why I decided to be a gallery artist was I wanted to empower myself, make my own choices. I started this last week. I would say if it wasn't for KonMari, maybe I wouldn't do this. It's like after cleaning out my room and stuff, it's made me a lot more efficient with my workspace. Having an organized art space gives me more energy as an artist. Getting rid of things I no longer need allows me space to create new artwork. This KonMari method is like cleansing your energy. Water needs circulation, otherwise it will be stagnant and rot. You gotta let things go so new things can come in. This is natural, it's energy flow. Okay, now we are doing the sentimental item category. And this first step is pretty easy, taking everything out. I don't have much stuff. I feel like this is more about the process. It's cleansing your negative energy, getting your past in order. Step 2 is sorting, and I found that this was a very difficult and intimidating thing to face my past. Because there were some items that, were really awesome, but there were other items that represented a kind of sad part of my life with sadness, regret, or resentment. And you have to make a choice whether you stay in that negative energy and hold on to those memories, or you forgive yourself and you ascend to a higher energy state. It's very difficult to do, but after I threw the items away, I immediately felt lifted, like a weight lifted, and I knew I made the right choice. I learned a lot of my past and I cherish what has happened, but now I will move forward having the newfound wisdom I have gained. Step 3 is discard. Okay, so I'm not actually throwing everything away, I'm just not classifying it as a sentimental item and putting it in storage. I will donate it to Goodwill, I might sell it, but most interesting enough, I will integrate an item back into my everyday use. For example, there is a bag that I designed in college. I decided that I will, now just use it as a regular bag rather than, treating it like a museum item. Also, I might wash some things before I put it back in my sentimental category. Step 4 is arranging the items back in the boxes that they came from. I only have one box, so it's pretty easy, and just trying to make it look pretty nice and decent. Okay, so everything in the box ideally sparks joy. However, there was one item, my baby clothes, that I couldn't quite bear to get rid of. I felt bad doing it. Probably one day I'll have my own baby and my baby clothes won't seem that big of a deal anymore. Lastly, finish strong. I love it when I'm donating something that is in great condition because I know that it's gonna find a great home. That same day, I took all my items to Goodwill for donation. I dropped them off. I recommend doing this step as soon as you can, it just makes life so much easier. Also, the next morning I did a quick photo shoot and listed these 2 items on eBay. It's a little bit more effort, but it ensures that these items find a suitable owner. Again, I recommend doing this ASAP in the same breath. Here I am tidying up my sentimental documents, sketches, love letters, report cards, awards, school projects. Keep items not because they are important, but because they make you happy. For example, I have this postcard from a girl. We ended our relationship on a good note. So it makes me happy to see that postcard. However, I have these pictures from winter formal, high school prom, and even though it's an important occasion, it gives me knots in my stomach just to see that. Why would I keep that kind of item around? It's just punishing yourself. The bottom line is, if something brings you down, you should get rid of that shit. And by choosing to discard those old love letters, I'm allowing myself to move forward in life. I'm saying I can let go of the past, stop reminiscing about what happened and what could have been, and I'm giving power to myself to choose how I want to live. Now, I want to talk about arranging. You see in the video, I'm taking some extra time to put my items neatly into folders and categories. I'm even creating labels and dividers so it's easier to find next time. I want to make sure that looking at my sentimental items will be a nice, pleasant experience. Okay, When I was discarding those items, I was kind of nervous. I was like, shit, like, I was kind of anxious. But after I threw the stuff away and I walked away, I felt like I was let out of a trance. I was like, what just happened? What did I throw away? I don't even remember. Very symbolically, you're letting go of that attachment to the past and moving on. And very literally, you are putting a lid on your past and walking away. Alright, we made it through the video. There's some summary things I want to drive home. And the first one is that tidying is an art form. Okay, it takes practice and continuous effort. Even me, like, does my room still get messy? Yeah, of course. So, like, I'm gonna show you my drawer right now. Like, it's messy as heck. If you don't tidy, like, even me, like, you'll still get messy again. And I know Marie Kondo kind of plays it off in her book, like, oh, like, you'll be clean all your life after you do KonMari method only once. But the thing is, Marie Kondo still tidies practically every day, right? She kind of implies that in her book. And she does say you only do the KonMari method once, but she still says that you need to do everyday maintenance. So it's not like a weight loss pill where you take it and then boom, rest of your life you're clean. Like, you still gotta work at it. It's an art form, it takes practice. Okay, another question I want to answer is, a lot of people ask, how long does this process take? So in her book, she talks about, like, oh, tidying in one shot, just boom, do it all at once. And people assume that she means do it in a weekend or like in one day. Her students report usually they finish in like 6 months or something. I have a chart of how long it took me. For me, it took about 24 to 30 hours over a period of 12 days and over a period of 3 months. Alright, and lastly about the art form, it's that it's okay to have different interpretations. There isn't a standard of peak physical perfection of the human body. If you look at Olympians, Michael Phelps, Usain Bolt, I forgot the gymnastics girl, the new one, but it's like, if you look at their bodies, like, they're the best in the world, but their bodies all look different. It's just like, if you are gonna create a room that's really tidy, everyone's room is gonna look a little bit different. Your room and the way you fold your clothes doesn't have to be exactly Marie Kondo style. The second point I want to draw home is that the KonMari method is all about experiencing joy. I think you should go after the life you want by first letting things go that don't give you joy. It could even be your job or your career, right? If that's not sparking joy, you may need to change careers even, or change businesses. That's okay, all right? So that's one extreme of the example, but the other extreme would be if you want to live a life that sparks joy, right? I think it's really also about practicing gratitude, contentment, appreciation for items and the people who are around us, who serve us. And we need to infuse joy into our everyday items. And that's something that I don't think Marie Kondo, she mentions it in a couple of speeches and talk, but not really much. It's also something I'm not really good at, being grateful for what's around me. And so I just kind of want to mention that. I think that's something I'm going to try to work on too. So closing, finally, finish strong. Alright, did you guys like this video? This wasn't a perfect demonstration of the KonMari method. Instead, it was more like a realistic portrayal of what it's like. So in this video, I'm not choosing to put ads because I think they're really annoying. Instead, if you want to support me financially, if this is like a great video, I'm gonna put a PayPal link below, and it'll be completely voluntary. If you want to donate like $1 or something, I know it takes effort, which is why, I'd be really surprised and appreciative if people actually did it. That would be cool. Also, I am trying to sell some of my old artwork from doing the KonMari. I will have a link down below with my shop and a coupon code, Project Life Coach, in case you are interested. If you are interested in more of my channel has changed a lot since I posted my first KonMari video. Project Life Coach is about me practicing personal development. I set goals, I create weekly, monthly, and annual reflections. Very occasionally, I might create a video that is helpful to other people like this one, but it's kind of rare. For me, it's less about talking. For me, it's more about doing, and that's how I want to inspire people and motivate others. And yeah, all right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope that helps. Bye.